everybody, it's Kelly Russell, the Rock Your Joy Coach. Thanks so much for joining me today. Welcome to my channel. So my topic for this week is from A Course in Miracles, lesson number 268, and it is let all things be exactly as they are. And how easy is that to do for any of us? Especially when we're talking about other people in our lives and like what they're doing or the choices they're making, what they're saying, how we feel like they're treating us, all of that stuff. Not to mention the people that like aren't even really in our lives, but they still have impact on it in this world, like politicians or heads of corporations and organizations and whatever else. And then there's also just the things that appear to happen, not necessarily that have to do with other people, but just things that transpire during the day that we just feel so free to just judge the shit out of and say that it's wrong and it shouldn't be that way and this shouldn't have happened and that person needs to do this and this person needs to be doing that. And if it were me and I was in that situation, I would do this and that and the other, and I would never let that person get away with that, and I would never stay with this person. I would have, done this or done that. So what this lesson is telling us is stop doing that. I mean, I can't say it any more clearly than that. It's like, let all things just be as they fucking are. And not for us not to think that we know how anything is supposed to transpire. We don't have that wisdom. We think we do. The ego mind is always telling us, the ego mind is all about change. It's not about letting anything be exactly as it is. The ego mind is constantly using the past to try and drag our asses into the future and basically recreate the past, even though it's not going to tell us that. And so it's constantly reminding us of how things were in the past, what we regret about it, what the mistakes were that we made, poor choices, whatever, and then scaring us into, if we don't manipulate people and our surroundings and we don't make stuff happen in a particular way, then we are going to have a shitty future. And I'm going to tell you right now that the ego mind does not care if you have a shitty future. In fact, it's actually kind of banking on that, right? Because the ego mind is never coming from a place of, I care about you and I want the best for you and I want you to just live in a place of love and peace and joy and really know who you really are. No, the ego mind is not doing any of that. It's doing the polar opposite, which is I want you to stay in fear. I want you to be focused on this world and on everyone is separate from you. And one of the most wonderful instruments that the ego can use to keep everyone feeling separate and not like our brothers is for us to use, basically project our unconscious guilt that we feel that we are carrying inside, project it onto our brothers to see them as guilty and in need of changing and not being how they are, not being who they are, and appointing ourselves as the arbiter of how they should be. And like we could possibly ever know that. And the only way that we could possibly ever know what someone else needs to do is to be able to see everything that has ever happened in the past or will ever happen in the future and how all of it is interconnected and what everyone's path, individual path to, even though we are all one, we are all being guided by spirit to do whatever we are being guided to do, and that it's not up to us to know what that is for anyone else. And certainly we are all being called to do whatever we're being called to do. And some of us are being called to do things in the world where we make decisions and we are agents for change, and we are activists, and we support and join and participate in causes and in revolution and raising consciousness and all of that. And this lesson doesn't mean don't do any of that, but it does mean don't do any of that without being guided by spirit, completely directing your actions in doing so. Because if you follow the guidance of spirit in whatever you do, you're always going to be coming from a place of love, which means what you're guided to do is not just going to be good for you or good for your small little circle. It's going to be good. It's going to be for the highest good of all concerned, which we just cannot see at the level that we are playing at in this world. But that's how Holy Spirit works. Holy Spirit works to, direct us in such a way so that there are multiple advantages for the most amount of people, for all the people concerned in any situation, whether it's all 9 billion or whatever it is people on this planet, or whether it's the 3 people that this is going to impact. And we just don't have any way of knowing that. And so for us to be able to adopt the attitude that I don't know what the best thing in this situation is to do, but I know that Spirit does, and that's what I'm going to do, is go into my quiet space, go in and center myself in my morning prayer practice and meditation that I talked about last week, and ask, what is mine to do? There's a part in the Course in Miracles that says, where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say? And to whom? And what miracles would you have me perform today? Which does not mean, would you have me creating 5,000 loaves of bread and a bunch of fish and turning water into wine, although that would be really awesome, or parting seas. I mean, if we're guided to do that, great. But what it really means is whatever miracles are a shift in perception from fear to love. And what brings them about in this world is forgiveness, the practice of true forgiveness that the Course in Miracles talks about. And just to review, the steps to forgiveness are in whatever we're judging, whatever grievance we have, whatever we think should be different. That is the you in this situation. I forgive you because I remember there's nothing to forgive. I remember that I am dreaming an illusion that the ego mind made up. I forgive myself. I remember that I'm dreaming this illusion. I forgive myself for dreaming it. You're not doing anything because it's happened in a dream. So I'm forgiving myself for buying into this dream. And I ask Spirit to help me see this differently, and I release it to Him to be healed. That is it. And it is absolutely transformative in terms of being able to see a situation completely differently and then feel completely differently about it. And it changes our projection onto the world, which means in many cases, the world then, people seem to change and behave differently, and different things happen in the world. And it looks like it's, people just changed their mind. Somebody finally started acting, right, like they should have. Or, and the most dangerous thing we can do is think that it's because we were being critical of them and then they started acting differently, because usually that's not how it happens. How it happens is when you stop and you remember what the truth is, and you remember to practice that version of forgiveness, and then you see the miracles. You see things change because you shifted your perception. So let all things be as they are. And I have kind of a funny story about this, which is that so I know this is just so on the level of the world, I know that, but I got a new nose ring right here last week. I've had my nose pierced for a long time. I had the same exact ring in it since 2004, and it was all like mangled and bent, and it was just needed to be retired, and I needed to get a new one. And so I got a little bit of an upgrade. I got a fancy one. It's a diamond, and I just wanted that for a long time, and so I did. And It doesn't. It goes in a little bit of a different way, so you have to be careful about it. And so, I was in the shower and I was being mindless. I wasn't thinking about what I was doing, and I was, washing my face and being a little too rough. And the next thing I know, I was like, "Oh no, it's not there." And I wish I had a video of me. Actually, not that I would want to show you a video of me in the shower, but I I don't even think I rinsed myself off. I just was like, oh no, it's going to go down the drain. Oh no, I have to get out of here right now. And I like turn the water off, and I, blind, no contact in, can't see shit. And I'm banging around my bathroom. I'm looking everywhere for this ring. I'm looking all over in the bathtub. I'm looking on the floor and checking the face cloth. And please, please, please. I am like freaking out. It was ridiculous. And then I got really mad, and it was like, are you kidding? Like, seriously? I've had this thing for like 4 days. Like, what the fuck? Like, oh my God. I was like, it was having such a boo-boo kitty tantrum. And I don't know, like after about like maybe a couple minutes, I was like, oh, maybe I should just practice forgiveness, since I'm always talking about it and always teaching about it. And I'm supposed to be doing that because I know it works. So I did. I just went in and did that forgiveness prayer, that true forgiveness that I just repeated to you. And something said, pick up your foot and look on the bottom of your foot. And I looked at the bottom of my foot, and my ring was there. It just stuck to the bottom of my foot. And I was like, thank you. And I could have saved myself that whole tantrum situation if I just would have gone right to the forgiveness process in the first place and not had the whole suffering part. And that's what we can do here. We can let all things be as they are. We can skip over the suffering part where we judge everything and think it should be different, and do all this efforting and waste all our time trying to make stuff happen and make things change and make things be different, and just practice true forgiveness and practice asking Spirit, what is mine to do here every day? And things will go a lot more smoothly. You'll see miracles. It'll be great. So that's what I got for you this week. Thanks again for joining me. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please click the link below and do so. I'm here every week talking about the practical application of A Course in Miracles. And if you feel like you need more help than what you've got right now in terms of not wanting to change everything and just having a really difficult time with letting things be as they are, click the link below to book a free discovery call with me and find out whether one of my coaching programs would be something that would be helpful to you. So I'll see you next week. Love you.